Hello and welcome to La Rosa Reads. I'm Denise and this is
Natalie.
And this is
Gianna.
Yay! And we are back with another edition of What Are the La Rosa Girls Reading? Today we are going to feature one book and our adventures with that book. Not only did we read the book, but you girls performed in the musical and we watched the 1996 movie of Matilda. So, 1, 2, 3. Let's talk books. So, today is a special day where we are discussing one book, and that book is Matilda by Roald Dahl. Now, as Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, as an educator, as a mother, I have to first and foremost name the fact that Roald Dahl has become or has been and continues to be a controversial author with a dark past filled with controversy around his thoughts and beliefs about people, including people of the Jewish faith, including Mexican people. And there are some more stories that continue to unfold, at least for me. I personally never read a Roald Dahl book growing up. This is my first Roald Dahl read. I want to say that for me, as an educator and a mother, I think it is important to not hide or shy away from those facts, those truths about individual artists who have this gift and have given us their gifts of writing, of music, and so on, but yet also are very complicated human beings, as we all are. And so what I advise people is if you are having experience as a parent where your child is reading a book by a controversial author who you maybe don't agree with them, you aren't really pleased with the fact that your child has to read this book or participate in a play written by a controversial figure, I think what I have done and what I try to do with my girls is to name that, to give them a glimpse into that past in a developmentally appropriate way, while also respecting the fact that my girls absolutely love Matilda. And it was a great piece of art. It was a great book. And so what that lesson teaches our children is that, the human experience, being a human being in the world, is filled with nuance and complexities. That, these people who have given us great art are not perfect. They're human and they are flawed. And sometimes, they are just products of their environment or of the era that they grew up in. And other times they're just straight out hateful and it's not okay what they say or do. And then give your children the choice, teach them that they don't have to be mindless consumers of media, that they have the power to choose what media to take in as they grow up and what to participate in and what to consume, and therefore that impacts, the money that these artists make or don't make. So with that being said, sorry for my long preamble there, but I think it's important. I think it was a very important thing to mention. So girls, your first experience with Matilda was seeing the musical being performed at a friend's school. So let's talk about that. So Natalie, share with us your thoughts.
So whenever I was going to Aaron's school to see Matilda, I felt pretty excited because I didn't really know what Matilda was and I hadn't seen it before, so it was kind of new for me. And then whenever I heard we were going to do a musical theater camp, I also was really excited. But then whenever you said that we were going to do Matilda, I was getting really, really, really excited because the musical that at Aaron's school was really good and I was excited to do it myself.
Yeah, that's great. And so you saw this musical being performed at a friend's school, and you were signed up for a musical theater camp that was going to perform Matilda Jr., and you actually did the thing. So both of the girls auditioned for roles in Matilda Jr. at their musical theater camp. And Gianna, what role did you get?
I got Amanda.
So tell us about Amanda, that character.
So Amanda likes wearing pigtails, but Miss Trunchbull doesn't like her pigtails at all and keeps telling her not to wear them, but she never stops wearing them.
Because her mom is always doing her hair in pigtails because she doesn't believe in what Miss Trunchbull does.
Yes, and so she flings her across the schoolyard by the pigtails.
Lordy. And Natalie, what roles did you play?
So I was one of the school kids, and I was the acrobat and escapologist's daughter, and I was also a Russian.
Okay, at the end. So this story is quite the story. It has so much imagery. I found that I enjoyed Roald Dahl's imagery, how descriptive he was. Also, the characters were so compelling. Their personalities were like so big. Even the tiny, like frail, quiet characters had a lot of life, a lot of personality, and you were drawn to them. So I absolutely loved it. It was so engaging and entertaining. And so let's back up a bit. And G, how would you summarize this story? And remember, when you're summarizing, you're not giving all the itty bitty details. You're just hitting all the main points without giving the story completely away.
So it's about this girl named Matilda, of course. She's super smart, and she's only 5 years old. And she meets this teacher, and the teacher gets very shocked and surprised that she is like as smart as she is, and she wants to move her to the older grades, but Miss Trunchbull says no.
And who's Miss Trunchbull?
Miss Trunchbull's the evil principal
who
tortures children. Then Matilda makes a friend, and she goes through what it's like to be in for Miss Trunchbull to teach twice, and her parents don't like her either. Like, they don't like her at all.
So Matilda's parents don't like their child.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about this story, Natalie? What feelings did it bring out in you? Because I can tell it's bringing out something.
At the beginning, whenever she went to the library and she started reading that book, it was just a really good part in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I also liked the really dramatic parts, like whenever they were at assembly.
So, yes, Matilda loves books, and we love books. And I think that part, that very important part of Matilda's story was so compelling and just drew us in right away. And you really, truly feel sorry for Matilda. So I found, like, Dahl was able to evoke these feelings of empathy and sympathy and sadness, quite frankly. I had a little tear in my eye in some parts. And then Matilda was a little mischievous. And magical. So then you, right when you were feeling so sorry for her and getting a little sad, you kind of perked up, right, Natalie?
Yeah, because she literally, like, gorilla glued her dad's hat onto his head.
Yeah.
And the mom thought that it wasn't glued onto his head, so she just tried ripping it off.
Yes. And I have a feeling, Natalie, when you're talking about that, were you envisioning that happening in the musical, in the book, or in the movie?
The movie.
I had a feeling.
So it happened in the movie.
It did. So perfect segue into the movie. So we watched the movie Matilda, and you guys, this movie came out when I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I never watched it.
Yeah, but the movie, it wasn't like the book.
So let's talk about that. What was it? What was the difference, Natalie? What was in the movie that wasn't in the book? Talk to me about it.
Like whenever Miss Honey has like this doll, Miss Trunchbull owns the house. She has her doll held hostage in there, and she wants it, and she wants it back. The Matilda tries going back into the house and taking the doll, from the house to give it back to Miss Honey, but instead it turns into this whole chase and scary thing. And yeah.
Yeah, so in the movie, Miss Honey and Matilda actually sneak into Miss Trunchbull's house, and that never happened in the book. So Miss Trunchbull owns the house, and in the movie, Miss Honey and Matilda sneak into Miss Trunchbull's house that actually was Miss Honey's father's. But that doesn't happen
In the book.
in the book. It didn't happen in the musical. And so a lot of things like that were taking place in the movie. And why do you think that is, Gianna? Why do you think the movie added some things and did some changes that weren't in the book?
I don't know. I just feel like maybe like at the time they thought that it wasn't that like what they had planned out to be like exactly like the book wasn't that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they changed it a whole bunch and end up to be mostly not like the book at all.
So I appreciate your answer, Gianna. And so what was really neat about this experience is that both of you experienced this story, Matilda, in 3 different mediums. So you experienced it as a book, you experienced it as a musical, as a show that you performed in, and you experienced it as a movie. And each of those mediums, each of those art forms can require you to do some tweaking, some changes to really pull the audience or pull the reader's attention and bring them in. And I will admit, you guys, Matilda and both of you have watched Home Alone 1 and 2. This Matilda came out around that time, and it was giving me very much Home Alone vibes. And you, both of you said that too, right?
Yeah, it was sort of like the Russians were like the bandits.
Mm-hmm.
And also it was
the FBI actually. They
Yeah.
changed that part where it was the FBI. It wasn't.
Yeah, because and it was also like not like they weren't British either.
Yeah, in the movie, they were living in America. They were Americans. They were not British, and they didn't have like the accent, that dialect. So, all in all, I have a big final question for both of you, and I'm going to go one at a time. I'm going to start with Gianna. Which medium did you like this story the best? The book, the movie, or the musical?
Well, I think I have to say I like the musical the best.
And why is that?
I don't know. It's just like, I mean, like, it was, I feel like it was funnier than the book, and also, like, you know, I'm all about the songs, so.
Yes.
It was the songs for me, because it was in between the book and the musical.
Well, you know, the movie is dated, you know, and lucky for people who are fans of Matilda, Netflix has Matilda coming out December of 2022.
The trailer looks so good. It's
Yeah.
like awesome.
The trailer looks great. So what about you, Natalie? What did you like the best? The book, the musical, or the movie?
I like the musical and I like the book.
So it was a tie between the musical and the book.
Yeah, I like the musical, first because I got 3 parts, and the second thing is that I got to be in it myself, and I also liked it because of the songs and the dances, and the musical was just like the story from the book, but like with songs put in between each section of the story, and I also like the book because it's actually like the real story of Matilda.
Yeah.
And I also like the book because there's just like these moments.
There are a lot of really good moments in the book. For sure. For sure. So if I had to answer for myself, oh man, I think I would have to kind of be like Natalie. I think I love the musical and the book. The book gave you so much more insight, so I felt like I could appreciate the musical more because I could understand the characters and the story better because there was a lot more details in the book that helped you understand the musical. And I think it was all a delightful experience with my daughters to be able to see them perform in the musical Matilda Jr., to follow along and read. And can we give a shout out to Kate Winslet, who narrates Matilda? We listened to it on audiobook while following along with our hard copy, and it was an incredible experience. It was an incredible reading experience.
Wow,
so entertaining.
Wow, just wow. Look at that face.
Yes. So Kate Winslet did a phenomenal job of just embodying each character. And, it was one person doing the voices, and it sounded like a whole handful of different people. So that was amazing. So have you read Matilda? We are curious. If so, let us know your thoughts. Let us know, if you've seen the musical, if you're looking forward to Matilda the movie, the Netflix film. We want to hear from you. So happy reading, and until next time, peace.